Well, hello, everybody. This is Tom Truong. I'm with my very good friend, my man, David Oleary. He is a lead generation machine, and he leverages a system called KV Core, which any and all real estate professionals can go out and buy on their own. It will probably cost them about $1,000 to get started, to get everything set up once you finish talking to the sales folks, and then they're going to ask for your credit card. And then they're going to ding your credit card about $500 a month, each and every month, just like your bills. And then you're going to have to learn how to generate leads like David Oleary is going to teach you now. If you are not currently an eXp Realty agent, then you definitely want to reach out to David Oleary. We'll put his link and his email and his cell phone on this video here, so you can reach out directly to Dave, and he'll teach you how to generate more leads than you can handle. I've known David now for several years through a nonprofit organization. The guy's a rock star in terms of real estate sales, and he's also building a team across the country. David, go ahead. The floor is yours, sir. Thank you for investing your time to teach us.
Not at all. I don't recognize everybody on here. So if you're not with eXp and somebody invited you to this call, to this training, by all means, get back with that individual as well. I'm willing to open or answer any questions, but if somebody was the procuring cause for you to take a look at eXp, be sure you go back to that individual. So, all right, I'm going to share a screen and just kind of dig into it. What we have with KV Core is a system that's got, it's just, what I'm going to show you is the tip of the iceberg. There's still going to be a whole lot of frozen stuff underneath the water when we're finished that you're not even going to see. It's not going to sink your boat, but if you do get in and learn a little bit more each time, each week, you're going to be amazed at how much easier your business can be, using this particular CRM. Just a quick description: it is a CRM that's tied to our website, the website that we get with eXp that's included with the deal. And my particular website looks like this. It's just one of the templates that they give us, and you have the option of putting a banner back here. But what I do is I created a video loop from some of the listing videos that I've created, and just let that roll behind there. So I sometimes debate whether or not having sound behind it, not behind it, is okay, but I think it's okay. It looks cool. This is the website that you get with eXp. It is what's tied into the KV Core CRM, and the advantages of the KV Core CRM as opposed to a lot of other ones that I've seen out there, and I've used Top Producer, Lion Desk, lots of other CRMs that are very popular. Boomtown I've not used, but I've heard good things about it. Several things that I love about the KV Core, which would, it's actually inspired a lot of brokers to go out and agents to go out and start buying it a la carte, even though they're not with eXp. Maybe it's because they've heard great things about it because of the waves that we're creating in the pond, or maybe they're just starting to hemorrhage and they're scared to death of losing any more agents, so they think they can take KV Core and stick it in their brokerage, and suddenly they can compete. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be like that. KV Core is an amazing CRM for several reasons. Number one, it's got all of the plugins that we use for lead generation. We're talking about landing pages, squeeze pages, and multiple types of squeeze pages, and then SMS callback number type of lead generation. And I'm going to go through those three that I just described. It's also a CRM that's just loaded with artificial intelligence. Thank goodness, because I don't always have intelligence depending on what I'm doing or how busy I'm at. For example, I may be driving down the road on my way somewhere, and a lead will come in and I don't get back with them right away. I may not get back with them for several days. Hell, I've not gotten back with them at all sometimes, and until suddenly I get a text message from somebody saying, okay, how about 3 bedrooms in Irvine? And I'm like, well, who are you and what are you talking about? So what happens is KV Core will take hold of a lead that comes in, and it will automatically initiate a campaign. Well, you set it up with the campaign, but it will automatically initiate text messages or emails to go to this prospect, it will continue to drip on them. And in fact, if they come back and look at several properties after the first one, it will assess what their patterns are and actually create an automatic drip alert on them, or an automatic campaign where it will start sending them properties based on the averages of the purchase price and the size and the location of what that particular individual is looking for. This happens in spite of you. So if you do nothing but set this up, leads will come in and they will be engaged by KB Core. Now, your conversion rate will be a lot better, I guarantee you, if you actually do engage these clients a lot sooner than 3 days down the road. There's all kinds of statistics out there that you can read, but the sooner you get hold of them and engage them, the more likely you're going to convert them as a lead. And you know, there's a lot of cottage industries that have grown around just engaging your leads that we can generate. So those couple of things, those couple of items are really the big reasons why KB Core is such an amazing success story, and why it is, you know, it's one of the reasons, frankly, that a lot of people are coming into eXp Realty just to have access to this. So what I've got here is the dashboard. I'm in the dashboard right now, and once you've logged in, you've gotten your credentials. You've got over here on the left side, you've got the dashboard, you've got the CRM itself, which is where you look at your actual contacts. Listings, you can look at listings that are tied into your particular MLS, marketing autopilot, lead engine. As you can see, there's a lot of goodies over here. Some of them are for managing your websites, for managing teams, marketplace that you can actually add on to what you've been given by eXp. What we're going to key in on, well, first of all, the dashboard, you can see this is activity that's come into my CRM in the past few days. I've scrolled all the way down here, and we're down to 11 days ago. I've been traveling a lot, and I stopped lead generation for the past 2 or 3 weeks, and it's gotten a little bit slower in the past few days. But when you go back to about a week or two ago when I was actually generating, you can see how much activity there was. 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. And this activity is a combination of leads that have actually come in, or people that have actually been doing things. This Henry seems to be pretty busy. And Henry's a success story. He's one of the leads that were generated through one of the systems I'm about to show you. And actually one of my agents on my team took over Henry along with several hundred other clients or prospects, and she's actually making offers on behalf of Henry. And you can see all the properties he's looked at. If we continue to, oh my gosh, Henry is a pig. Oh, there we go. Now we got some real estate that's not Henry. I set myself up as, I recommend this with any system that's new for you. Set yourself up as a client with a different email and go through and test the system as if you are a buyer or a seller, just so that you know what your clients are going to be getting when you turn them onto the system. That's always a good idea. So here's all kinds of other people. We're at about 13 days. And some of them are answering. They said yes to something. I don't know what. I've got several agents that are actually working the leads that are coming into my bucket here. But if I drill down on Carolyn, we can see some of the details on her. We've got phone number, we've got email, and you see the little green check. It's actually validated her email, so it's more likely to be legitimate. You know, online leads are like anything else, whether it's from Zillow, Realtor.com. What we're doing here, some of them are going to be bogus, some of them are going to be legitimate, but what you find is that KB Core does a great job of actually going through and vetting their information. So it does. If we go down to the beginning, she came into the system on July 6th. You can see that KB Core did a validation run, found the email quality to be excellent, and actually gave us a Foursquare link for social media. If it found a Facebook or a LinkedIn or a Twitter, it would throw that in there as well. So it does go out and search your prospects that come, or your leads that come in via their email or their phone number. Didn't validate her phone number, but I think that we can say that it's legitimate because we've been sending her text messages. There's been emails that's been going out. text messages have been going out, and when you see the arrow going the other direction, that means she's answered. Received a text message, yes. I'd have to go back and see what she's saying yes to. Hey, I've been sending you updates for my website. Now, this particular text message is a campaign that's just generated automatically, by KV Core if you set it up that way. It's not something custom that I've gone in and actually done. Or let's see, this is Eastville. Dina is the agent that would be handling this one. So this is just a system generated text. It says that she's, our text message says, I've been sending you updates for a while now. I want to point you in the right direction and to get you. Are you still in the market? Would you like me to turn off your property updates? That's kind of a stupid question. Are you still in the market, or would you like me to turn off your property updates? And she said yes. I don't know what she's saying yes to, but obviously she needs some attention. But you can see that she's still getting emails that are automatically going out for properties. And make sure you set your signature block up correctly so that it makes you look all professional. But she's being engaged. She's being engaged by both the system and the agent. Good morning, this is Dina with EXP. Hope you're doing something fun this weekend. I'm working, so if you want to see any homes, please let me know. So you can kind of dip in and take over the campaign, take over the conversation, or just add to it. And you add to it by using send text message. You can actually use this as a dialer. And if you click on this, it's going to come up and say your phone will be called before the other party is connected. So it acts as a dialer if you've ever used one. And the advantage of this is it's going to automatically log the information into the CRM under that particular prospect or this this contact. And then you can call now, you can log the call, you can schedule a call in the future. All this can be done from the CRM itself. It will be using a caller ID of your smart number, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, but it is a nice way to keep the continuity flow between your prospect and the calls that they're making into you and the calls that or text messages are going out to them. It's going to be the same number. As opposed to 2 or 3 different numbers, depending on how you call them. You can send them an email. You can just add notes. You can add notes, whatever you want to. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sure Dina's going to love this note when she sees it. Copy your lender on this. You can actually assign one of your favorite lender to your profile here in KV Core, and then they will have access to anything that happens here. If you put a note, you can make sure the lender sees it, and if it's a good note, you can pin it to the top, so it stays right up there at the top of the list of notes. So let me go back to lender. You can see over here on the left side that more details. The lender, Angie, has been assigned as a lender, and that's like one of the first things that happen when the lead comes in. So it adds hashtags for whatever, hashtags for however that particular lead was generated. And then it custom notes, it does the validation. It's putting out a link there as to what this particular person clicked on to get to our system. In other words, what ad maybe they clicked on. And then if you have a lender assigned to your KV Core system, you can see right here, contact assigned to lender, David Oleary. So you can add lenders to your system and once again, utilize or leverage their skill set and their time to also follow up with your contacts if you choose to. So now it's 2 of you that are on the hook to contact them. I basically have an arrangement with the lender that, instead of bombarding them, we will go in and make first contact, but she'll see all the notes. And then when it comes time, or if it comes time that they should engage that particular lead, then they already see it all happening there. So that's pretty spiffy so far. I could stop right here with this presentation and you're already impressed and wowed. So go get your spatula because we're about to show you some more things where you're going to need to actually shovel your jaw up off the floor. All right, so
Okay, if you don't mind, I'll add a few commentaries here. So I
please do.
use this system, or my team, my buyer's agent team uses this system on the dialing feature. It's pretty cool. When you click on the call feature, it calls your cell phone first, then it dials the telephone number there. Number two is the system, KV Core also allows you to, it automatically does a scrub of the social media and the content that's easily available and accessible through the web. But if you're still coming up short and you don't have you don't have both the correct email or the cell phone, then it links with Spokio, and I pay extra for Spokio. I think it's I forget what I paid. I think it's about 17 cents per record when you buy it in bulk. And for another 17 cents, Spokio goes out and combs, takes a much deeper dive to the internet, and has successfully found the correct phone number or phone numbers and correct email address or addresses, making the lead even more warmer than before. So 2 commentaries for you. It works.
Yeah, it's pretty tremendous. I just drilled down on this particular lead, and it shows a Flickr account on this person. So it did validate the email on this lead as well. So I don't know how many of you all have paid Zillow for leads, but Zillow, I don't see this type of validation on Zillow leads. We pay a whole lot more money. I asked Zillow, or actually Zillow called me, wanted to know how much for a Buena, wanted to sell me a Buena Park zip code, which is in Orange County. I asked them how much, and they said it was around $850 a month, and that would guarantee me that I would get like 3 to 6 leads. Of course, those leads are going to be shared with other agents as well, not just me. I've done Zillow in the past and just found them to be like any other internet lead. I find the leads that we get with KV Core to be a lot more robust. I mean, it's doing a search and scrubbing, these emails. If you add Spokio to it, it's going to be even better. But you can see all the comments that are coming in. I mean, there's actual engagement going on between myself, my other agents, and these leads. So that in itself, I never saw this much engagement with Zillow. And on top of that, how many leads I'm getting for the systems that I'm engaging on. So I'm looking here now. I just clicked on the second tab, which is the basically the list of clients or list of contacts that have come in. I've got it clicked. I can't go through everything, but right now we're looking at my computer freezing a little bit because there's so much information. All right, so we're looking at 100 per page. And you can see on this particular view the contacts, and then how many times they've been emailed, how many times they've gotten text messages, and how many times they've been called, right? So, I should say how many times they've been called using the dialer in KV Core. So if you're an agent that doesn't want to use the dialer, you just want to use your phone, you'll have to go in and make a manual note on these leads, just like anything else. You can rate them with stars. I tend to add at least 1 star if I call them and get a voicemail. So if I call this guy Henry, he's got 5 stars. If I called Henry for the first time and I get a voicemail that says, "Hi, this is Henry," this is pretty legitimate. So I'm going to add at least 1 star and put some notes on there and follow up with this guy. So you can use this however you want to, but there's also the means to hashtag these, and you can see these hashtags that are under these leads right now: property boost, property boost, property boost. Okay, there are 3 ways that I've generated the majority of the leads with KV Core. Now, some of them I've paid for, and some of them you don't have to pay for. The first one, which is probably the one that's going to be more meaningful to you, is using a squeeze page on your Facebook post. What do I mean by that? If I go to my Facebook page here, this is my business page, and here's an example of a post that I did for, for an open house. This is a few weeks ago. We've already sold this property. Actually, it's already closed. But in the old days, I would take pictures and take some copies, stick it into Facebook, boost it for 20 bucks, 30 bucks, you know, try to get traffic to my open house. And then Facebook would come back at the end of the campaign and said, you spent $30, you got 7,000 impressions, congratulations, you're a rock star. And I'm like, who are these 7,000 impressions? Don't know. Now what we do is we take a squeeze page out of I'll show you how to make a squeeze page, but we make a squeeze page using KV Core, and a squeeze page or a landing page is basically a way to capture the contact information from a lead that comes in, not just give them the information for free, basically. So with a landing page, and I'll show you an example of a landing page, you can actually bookmark the landing pages and save them. So here's one for, here's one, a Newport Beach home, a landing page for a Newport Beach home. And what this does is you would use this URL to publish either in social media, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook, if you use any of the social media out there. Or you could even create, go get a URL and point it to however you want to market your properties. This landing page is going to give them a little bit of information on this property. And this particular one even allows you to throw a video. And again, this is just part of what you get. Welcome to Newport Beach. Today we're in the private community of Big Canyon. All right, so there's a creative listing video. And what do you do with these listing videos? You can market videos many, many different ways. And in this example, I'm taking a listing video and easily embedding it into a landing page. And then when somebody clicks on the Facebook ad, rather than just getting free information, it's directing them straight to this landing page where they have to put in their email and cell phone number to see the detailed properties on this particular profile, on this particular home. This is an old landing page. So in the background, it has a coming soon, and that just basically means whatever I used at the time for a background. It was an active MLS listing. It's not there anymore. But that is an example of a landing page. If I look at another example of what you could do, let's see here, list of, oh, here we go. Here is a landing page for, and this one's still active, Orange County foreclosures and short sales. So if you want to create a landing page to give people a list of short sales, REOs, any type of distressed properties, or whatever you want to create for your options. In this case, it was distressed properties. I created this one, and I created a squeeze page that this goes to that gives them Orange County properties under $350,000 that were distressed in some way. Once again, they have to give me their contact information in order to see the list. Okay, so that's a landing page. Now, how do we get to the landing pages? If I go here under Lead Engine, this tab over here, I know I'm going kind of fast, but it's a lot of information, and I'll be happy to answer questions later for more specific information, or there's lots of training in EXP world. Go to expcloud.com and you'll see both KV Core training and advanced training. I think it's on a Thursday and Friday. Plus there's lots of YouTube videos out there that you can look at. But when you go to Lead Engine, here's where you can create a landing page right here. I'm not going to go through the landing page creation, but I will do a squeeze page. Oh, and by the way, with KV Core now, you can have multiple MLS. You can be in multiple MLS markets. All right, so I'm in Orange County. I'm using my David Oleary exprealty.com, my main website. I set up one for San Diego as well. So if I want to, create leads in San Diego or have a presence that looks like it's local to San Diego, you can do that now with EXP and KV Core. I believe it's just $12 extra a month to have that second subdomain name for another market. All right, so, and then you have to obviously be a member of that market. You have to be a member of that MLS if it's a different one. You have to be a member of the board, all the stuff that you'd be required to do through the board in the local MLS. But then you can set up the IDX with a second domain name here in KV Core. All right, enough of that PSA. I start building a squeeze page, and when you get to this next set, it's asking you if you want to do a multi-property, single property, seller, or market. Multi-property is just the way it sounds. It's like doing a search in the MLS for multiple properties. And in that case, the last example I showed you on the landing pages, I went through here and looked for Orange County properties under 350,000. 350,000, I'm going through puberty again. And options. If you click on options, you can look at new construction, fixer upper, adult, all the same type of variables or fields, I should say, that you can see in the MLS. So here is foreclosures, short sales, all the stuff that all the tools that you need to create a multi-page squeeze page, multi-property squeeze page. You can also, if you wanted to, here's something else I've done, is set up a squeeze page for open houses. So if you want to create a URL link for multi-property squeeze pages for all the open houses this weekend in whatever city you want to, then you can publish that on Facebook, and people will click on it. Of course, they're going to end up giving you the contact information if they really want that, that data. But that lots of different ways that you can use a multi-property squeeze page. On a single property squeeze page, it's just that. This is what I use for my listings. So when I create a new listing, and let me go and find an example of somebody. You can have multiple tabs open for KB Core. So where do I want to? I can just pick anyone here.
Hey Dave, while you're picking a listing, for the folks here, I've recently done this for my real estate friendly competitors in town, where they have a stale listing, 30 days, 45, 60s, and going longer, where they are not generating the leads that they are that they were hoping. Maybe they're overpriced it, whatever, and they are now openly and freely allowing me and my team to advertise their listings to pick up the buyer agent side of the commission. So we can do this for another agent's listing in another office as well. And guess what? I'm about to score and land another team member to recruit to my team, because we're providing value that his brokerage doesn't even come close to providing.
Yeah, on that same note, if you are a new agent trying to generate business, or if you have new agents that are trying to generate business, I always encourage new agents to, if they don't have their own listings, go find one of these cooperating listing agents that will let you adopt their property. And what I mean by adopt their property, I mean you are going to hold their house open every weekend, preferably a vacant one. Maybe you can do it a couple times a week. And in addition to the open house, you're going to use these tools to generate online leads. If you're going to lose weight, the doctor tells you it's diet and exercise. If you want to generate leads and good ones, you're going to do an open house and drive traffic to that open house using these tools. So, all right, so I have picked a property just randomly. And what I'm going to do is go down here and get the MLS number. Where's the MLS number? I should have been looking at that one. Oh, here it is. PV, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to stick that right into the listing ID. Source, this is where you start to plug in a little bit of metadata so that when you get a lead later, you know where it's coming from. So I'm going to call this whoever, well, I'll use a real one. We'll use, for example, I set one up that said pair. All right, open house pair, here we go. So this is a hashtag that I created previously, and I had a listing on Pear Avenue, and I created a hashtag right here and now called OH-pair, so that later when the lead comes in, if a lead comes in from this particular squeeze page, I will know where it came from because I created this hashtag. All right, I'll show you, what I mean by that in a minute. How many views before they have to register? All right, the default is 2. You can actually give them all the information without them ever having to click on something. But basically what's going to happen is it's going to take them to this squeeze page, and they can look at the properties, click on pictures, go to, and this is all part of your website. They can go to the search tool and look for more properties if they want to. And they will get tripped up and have to give up their contact information based on what you enter right here. So I'm just going to say 1 for immediate because I'm harsh that way. And once you finish putting this little bit of information, you just hit generate link, right? And now what you do is you copy this link, and that is what you will put into your social media ad. All right, so I just come up here and I'm going to go scroll down a couple bars and I paste that in there, and now you can see it gives you a nice, I don't want to say thumbnail, it's bigger than my thumb, but a nice photo of that particular listing. And then you can come back up here and say, hey everybody, you know, come to my open house. It's, you know, yada, 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 whatever your normal ad would be. But the nice thing is, instead of them just, you know, oh, and then you want to boost it. So that's where you can spend some money. So you can take this ad and put it into groups, many groups that you may belong to that are relevant to, you know, the real estate community, or maybe if you're farming a particular area, you're farming North Park, so you're going to always put, you know, information, whether it's your listings or just other people's listings, that you're going to stick in there just to show activity. And you're just fishing, you're trawling, and you're waiting for somebody to bite your bait, and then you can pull them in. So you can stick them into groups for free and not spend any money on this. Or if you're like me, you're going to put it on your own site and just boost it. You know, you'll spend 10 bucks, 20 bucks, 40 bucks, whatever you want to do. And if it's for an open house that you're holding this weekend, let's say today is, well, today's Monday. I would normally put these ads into the system no later than Wednesday, and then boost it for 3 or 4 days, depending on whether you're doing the open house on Saturday or Sunday. And then you're just going to be pushing traffic to your open house. And a lot of people will come in off of these ads. What happens when they click on that? I'm going to come up here and open an incognito.
Before you close that, whoops. All right, never mind.
No, it's still there.
Right. So one keynote, would you hover your mouse over the address where it says David Oleary? Okay. Audience, I know it's kind of hard to read, but here's where we distinguish ourselves from the competition. Okay. This lead is generated. When the client clicks on this, it goes right back to David Oleary's KV Core website, which automatically feeds his CRM. Many real estate agents and many competitors don't have this ability because they are not paying $500 a month for this system. I've heard agents say, well, Tom, I can do the same thing in my agency. Well, not true. In your same agency, you can take the listing, most agencies who don't have this KV Core platform, you can pull the listing off of your MLS. You can pull the listing off of your brokerage's website, and you are posting the link to your MLS's feed or your brokerage's feed. And when that client clicks on it, guess what? It doesn't come directly back to you to follow up on the lead. The only way that lead comes back to you, traditionally, the other way, is if they reached out to you directly on Facebook and messaged you. But if they clicked that link, that lead goes to somebody else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's one of the ways that eXp differentiates itself from other brokers out there. We are very agent-centric, and all the tools are to empower the agent, not to empower the broker so that they can get their hooks into your clients, so that if you leave and go to a different brokerage, the broker himself is going to maintain all these clients.
There are many offices that still have agents do uptime or desk time or office time, and when they are doing uptime or desk time, and I was guilty of this when I ran my brokerage, guess what? When the internet came in, it didn't go to my agent who posted the ad. It went to the person who did the uptime, and they get to call on the lead.
Yeah, it's such a big difference. The ecosystem, if I can, the karma of eXp and how we are empowering and enabling our own agents instead of some broker. Okay, so this is basically I don't have to tell you how to write an ad for an open house. But you can see the ad that I put in here. Just make sure you can do whatever you want. When it comes to branding yourself with EXP, you literally can do anything you want as long as you are compliant with the Department of Real Estate. In California, you got to have your title, your DRE number, a way to contact you, with the phone number. So as long as you're compliant with the Department of Real Estate, whether we're talking about a yard sign or these ads that go out or a postcard, brand yourself however you want to. Okay, so what I was going to do is show you what happens when people click on that particular. This is remember I created the squeeze page for that $2 million property, and then I saved. This says pair. Oh, that's right, because it's incorporating the hashtag in that URL. So look at that. It took us to that $2 million Rancho Palos Verdes home, and because I clicked on immediate, not to give it two clicks first, it's immediately asking me for contact information. If I go back to this, where was it? And I change that instead of immediate to maybe 2 clicks, generate the links there. And now I copy that and go into incognito window so it doesn't know who I am. The reason I do that is because I am my own client, and sometimes it knows who I am. So if I go to an incognito window or a private window, depending on which browser you're using, now it takes me to this, and I'm all salivating to look at this property, and I can start clicking on things and looking at information, and I may go somewhere else. And after a couple of clicks somewhere, it's going to ask me for some contact information. I swear it will. Oh, there we go. So as soon as I click on I guess it's a couple different properties, it's going to ask you for contact information, just like before. So that is a single property squeeze page, and obviously the advantage is you put this into social media. You're being provocative to get people, buyers out there or sellers, to click on your links, and when they do, they're giving up the contact information. And when they give up the contact information, they end up in your CRM. They end up into this this bucket of leads that you get, and these are leads, right? This is the first 100 leads, and like I said, the past couple of weeks I haven't been doing any lead generation, but there's so many leads, it chokes and plugs up my computer and it won't spin. All right, here we go, all the way down to the end. We're just at September 25th here in our first 100, and half of October I haven't even generated leads. All right, so that's one way. Where are we? We got 15 minutes left. The second way is a paid method. If you go down to Marketplace in your CRM, there are lots of different ways for you to generate business and activity. The 2 favorites that I've been using are Property Boost, and then this, gosh, there's new ones I haven't even seen yet. Oh my goodness, I gotta get caught up. They're constantly rolling out new stuff, new programs, new technology, and man, if you don't attend things to catch you up on a regular basis in the EXP world, you're going to be like me right now, looking at this going blink blink, what is that? All right, so Property Boost is one of them. Facebook lead ads, there's one called Facebook buyer leads. Maybe they changed that to just Facebook ad leads. Well, the Property Boost is just what it sounds like. If you have a listing, it's got to be an active listing, whether it's yours or somebody else's listing, it doesn't matter. If you're going to use somebody else's listing, as Tom mentioned earlier, I would go and talk to them and get their permission. Maybe it's somebody that you're trying to engage to bring them, to bring them to a meeting or get them to a sit down with you, and you offer to bring them a buyer by helping to market their property. Property Boost is a great way to do that. So, and I've actually done that. I've done exactly what I've described. Who's on this call? I have boosted other people's properties that I'm trying to get them to look at this program here with EXP. So I just started a new one today. It's a friend of mine. It's not my listing. A friend of mine that didn't know that it was a friend of mine until they already went with another agent. I just started it today, so we don't have any activity at this point. It usually takes a day for it to start grinding out. But I did a boost for 3 weeks. And if you look at these other boosts that have already expired, I started doing this back in May of this year. So this is a 1-week boost. In 1 week on this Arcadia property, I got 728 impressions, but 29 of them clicked on it and 7 of them gave me their contact information. All right, Peach was a listing that I had. I did that one for 3 weeks, generated 25 leads, 25 people that gave me their contact information. You can continue to scroll down here. 31 leads on this one. This is the listing that I had. There's a lot of ways to use Property Boost. You can see if they have a picture there, the property is still active. But overall, since May, I've run 12 ads. Actually, I've run 11 ads, but one of them I just started today. 28,000 impressions, whatever, 885 people clicked on it because they liked what they saw in that impression. 6 people, I don't even know who these are, 6 people shared it, and 241 people actually gave up their contact information at the average cost of $5.23 per lead. These all
that beats paying Zillow about $80 to $120 per lead that they sell the same lead to 3 different people.
Same thing, but actually I like these leads better. Even if the price is the same, I like these leads better because our KV Core with its artificial intelligence is going through and scrubbing this information and letting you know up front, which ones seem to be pretty legitimate and which ones are bogus.
Right.
Sometimes you'll get a lead and you'll call them and you call the number and you get dial a prayer or something like that. But it's just the way it works. You bring in this many leads, this many of them are going to be legitimate, and even smaller are going to be wanting to actually do something with you. Was there a question? Okay, so as I scroll down, if you look at the hashtags over here, this was a property boost on a property on Holder Street. These are all from a property boost on Holder, okay? If you look at this one, this is for a 90620. This was the Facebook buyer ad boost. So it's not a particular property. It's in this, well, it's in the marketplace where you would just pay. There's 2 different ways that you can generate leads on social media like Facebook. You can go in and create the ad, and you can figure out the demographic and the geography and what their buying patterns are. If I'm creating my own ad, I'm going in and creating buying patterns for maybe people that are looking at wedding dresses, or people that are looking at elementary schools or monastery schools. All the different things that are change of life habits. When people get kids, when people get married, when people get divorced, it creates the need for usually a transaction, a purchase or a sale. So when I'm creating my own Facebook ads, I'm using these different habits or behaviors, I should say, behaviors that you can create with a Facebook ad, and trying to figure out what the magic sauce is. Or you can come into KV Core and then pay the people behind KV Core. They're called Inside Real Estate is the name of the company. This is who eXp Realty contracts out for this entire system. And what I do is I pay them to boost a property. Well, I don't have to go into it, but basically, when you boost a property, it will be $60 for 1 week, or $120 for 2 weeks, or if you go 3 weeks, they give it to you at $150. They knock some money off of it. So I budget $150 at least once a month, if not a couple times a month, to boost a property, whether it's mine or somebody else's that I've talked to, and they would love to see me help them generate leads, like this one in Newport Beach. I did it for 1 week, and this is a $1.2 million property. $1.2 million property. I got 7 leads. I gave them to that agent, and we're in communication now about him coming to EXP. $60. So anyway, what I like is I can pay them and they can figure it out, and you can see how successful it is when you look at the hashtags. I'm getting a lot of property boost leads that come in, lots of them. Let's go and look at it. Let's do a filter. and I'm going to look under lead details, and I'm going to go to hashtags, and I'm going to type in holder because I know that that's in the name of that property, and there it is. That's the address. That is the property boost hashtag that was automatically assigned by KV Core. And if I apply that filter, and this is an ad that I ran for 3 weeks, paid $150 for, and we got 56 leads from that. Filtered from 1,000. Okay, I've got 1,086 leads total in my KV Core since I've been with EXP. But 56 leads on that one listing. You know, how many leads are you generating on your listings or on your properties in a 3-week period? That's a lot of people, right? And you can see which ones are active, which ones we're engaged with. You know, usually when we start talking, having communications with somebody, and you know, whether it's a 2 weeks out or 2 years out, they turn into an active lead, and then we just kind of go into a different campaign with them, obviously.
Hey David, I'm curious. What was there an anomaly about this listing that generated so many leads? Looks like your average leads was maybe 5 to 10. This one generated 55. What was special about it? Was there anything special about it?
That's a great question. You look at this one. This was 3 weeks and it generated 31. This one generated 13 in 1 week. Here's what I find to be successful. Of course, if it's your own listing, you got to do what you got to do. You know, if they're priced ridiculously and you allow that to happen, then you have to boost it. You have to do everything you can to expose that property. But if you are out there looking for a property that you want to, you know, help co-market or you know, basically adopt so that you can generate leads for yourself or for your agents, what I do is I look at the meat and potatoes. I won't boost luxury properties where the demographic of buyers or sellers, for that matter, is very, very small. I like to go where the huge bucket of buyers are. You know, so in Orange County, I think the average price here is probably around $650 to $700,000, somewhere in that range for the average single-family home for the entire county. What I will do is I'll go into a zip code and I will look and see what the average price is, or the median price for that zip code. And I like to target a property that is just at or under the median price, because that's where I find that not only is it a good deal, but the majority of the buyers are, you know, we're just gonna have more buyers at that level. You know, if the median price for Buena Park is 650, and I'm gonna boost a property that's 1.5 million, there's not going to be a lot of people looking for 1.5 million in Buena Park. So I tend to, if it's not my own listing, I tend to look for properties that are going to fit the, you know, into the biggest bucket of where people are searching from. In other words, there's a whole lot of buyers that are looking for a property that is in the low 600s, which is what this was, if I remember right, than something that would be $800,000, $900,000. That's where I think that's where we're getting more leads on this one. It says 60 here. On Pear, it was the same thing. Pear was it was in the 500s. It was like the list price was $598 if I remember right. This is my listing, and the average price in Eastvale, the average price in this particular community was well into the 600s. You know, so this was a 3-week campaign. But it was you know, luckily it was my listing, but it was a property that was priced at or just under the median price of that particular community. So if you have a choice and you're looking to, you know, if you're looking through the MLS for vacant properties that you can hold open, my recommendation is to find properties that are just under the median price, and you're going to have a whole lot more people that will come looking at that house because it's more affordable than something that's twice that price. Yeah, we all want to do luxury properties. Yeah, we all want to sell $3 million homes. But you know, I've told this many times before, I'd rather have $400,000 or $500,000 transactions than $1-2 million transaction, because if one of them falls out, you still got $1.5 million worth of a property in escrow, and you're still going to have a payday. Where if that $1-2 million falls out, and they often do, you're living out of cardboard box. Okay, maybe it's not that dramatic. We're a little bit behind, but I've shown you a couple of the the main ways that I like to generate leads using KV Core with Property Boost and then Facebook ads. And then the other one is you can see the occasional, this is just a Facebook buyer lead. And you know, even though it says buyer lead, you'll find sellers in there too, because a lot of sellers are trolling the internet or you know, Facebook because they're wanting to know what else they can get if they sell their home. So all this stuff that says Buena Park, these are not properties. This is just the buyer lead generator. That now that one's a little more expensive. That particular one is $250 a month. All right. So if you had a limited budget, I would stick with Facebook and then Property Boost, because Property Boost you can get in for as little as $60. I think you do better when you do 3 weeks, because it just gets out there and you know, permeates the internet a little bit more, if that's a good word. And then if you do have the extra money, using that and going with that buyer, maybe they're calling it something else now. I have to go in and see. Facebook lead ads, probably that's what this is. Learn more. $250 a month is what I was paying, or am paying for that other one. Okay, so that covers the 3 main ways that I generate leads using, you know, using these systems. The last one, I've got a couple minutes left, is SMS callback. SMS callback, if you go to your lead engine tab, it's down here under call capture. And when you are, if you're an EXP agent, they give you a smart number. That smart number is sometimes shared with other agents in your market. If a lead comes in through the EXP website, you know, it kind of goes round robin. What I recommend is pay for your own smart number. So I pay Inside Real Estate, the people that, you know, people behind the company behind KV Core, I pay them $25 a month, a whopping $25 a month, to get my own smart number with a local zip code, or I mean area code, for where I'm marketing. So now, you know, there's a lot of reasons to have a smart number that is your own. Number one, all the leads are going to come directly to you, and there's never a pool situation with KV Core. The second reason is you can publish this number on your business cards. I know with a lot of people, both boys and girls, you know, safety is paramount, and you know, real estate agents are really good about marketing themselves and having their phone number plastered everywhere. And if you're an agent that's out there a lot, advertising a lot, and you're just drop dead gorgeous as myself, then maybe sometimes you want to have an intermediary number so they don't have access to your direct cell phone number. So you can actually publish the smart number if you want to on your business card or on your marketing pieces, on your yard sign. And then when people call in on this, it's going to look like this. This is exactly what happened. Whoever the 714 number is just a phone call that came in on a smart number. So that's one reason to use it. The other thing that you can do is the SMS callback. So for example, if you look at, let me go to preview. Here we go. You've seen sign writers. I create sign writers that go on top of my yard sign. And you can have a flyer box with this, or you can just have this, depending on the community. If you have a lot of millennials, or if it's like a 55 plus, they're probably going to want a paper flyer. But this is really easy and cheap to do, to create a rider, and creating the code is no additional charge whatsoever. So I make a rider that says text Eastville 88 to 949-335. What's that? Oh, look, that's my smart number. And you can create as many codes as you want to for, you know, creating SMS callbacks. So when somebody does this, if they text Eastville 88, what you do is, you know, well, what I did was I come down here. Let's look at Eastville 88. Let's edit this. It says view the details on this Eastville home. Click this, you know, little URL. And where do you think that URL would be taking them? It's going to take them to a single property squeeze page. So everything I do tends to point towards a squeeze page, because I want their contact information if they're serious about this. You can see all the other, you know, blow this up a little bit. Oops. this isn't working. Oh, is that working? Oh, anyway, you can see the different codes that I've created. This is for a duplex in Santa Ana that I've marketed once. This is for a property on Cobblestone in Cerritos. This is the multi-property squeeze page. What I did was I created this SMS callback for OC under 350, and then I did it several different ways in case people are like typing it in several different ways. And then I put that into Craigslist, because people are out there, investors are out there searching Craigslist for good deals. So you can't put a URL in Craigslist anymore. I put the callback number, and that is allowed in Craigslist. And I got a lot of leads for people searching for good deals, properties under 350. And it didn't matter which way they typed it. It was all going to bring them to the same thing. Here's your list of OC homes. They click on this, that took them to the multi-property, actually it was probably the landing page. The landing page that gave them that little bit of data, and then went on to the multi-property squeeze page. Kind of integrating all of this stuff together so that it brings you the most leads. Cerritos Homes, Big Brea Home, Oleary Value, what's that mean? I'll send out a postcard, and I'll send out a postcard that has this information on it, blah, blah, blah. OlearyValue.com is a URL that I just purchased for, I don't know, $11 a year at GoDaddy. Or you can text Oleary Value at, there it is again, my smart number. So when they text that, what happens is, click here to get a free valuation of your home, and then it goes to my EXP website on the sell page, and y'all are probably familiar with that. Basically, the sell tab on your EXP website is just a page that says enter your address here for an instant valuation of your home. So I use that information, or I direct people to that tab using SMS callback and a URL that points to that particular tab on the website. You can also, if you're sending out a postcard that is maybe for sale, if that's part of your marketing plan, as soon as you get a listing, you jet out a bunch of postcards to the farm around there, and you can put on here for information on this home, text, not Oleary Value, but text Long Beach 28, rental 86, Eastville 36, 34. I had a bunch of them going on in Eastville at the same time. Or Dave O. What happens to Dave O? Here's a hint from Heloise. If you send Dave O to my smart number, it will give you my Savvy card. What's a Savvy card, you ask? Well, let me go back up here to an incognito window. It looks a lot better on a smartphone, but basically it just brings up my electronic or digital business card. So blah, blah, blah. And this is, again, this is a great way to get people's phone number. Instead of handing them a business card, you can say, let me just text you my, my digital card. It has all this information on there. So they can text you. Oh, look at that. That's the smart number again. Profile, all this information about me. Social media, you can put in all your links. So Savvy Card is a great site to set up a digital business card for yourself. Savvycard.com with 2 V's. Whew, that's a lot of information. So, did I miss? Oh, here's one more thing we can look at. Here we go. Flyers, if you do use Flyerbox, same thing. I created my own custom flyer because we can do that. There's also lots of templates in the enterprise if you go there with EXP, but I'm using Eastville 88 to my smart number. I go to GoDaddy and grab a URL. As soon as I get the listing, I'm grabbing a URL, 6294peach.com, pointing it towards what? A single property squeeze page. That's exactly where it's going to go. Blah, 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 information. If you're into the Chinese market, you put your WeChat scan code on here. Anything you want to do to market yourself. As long as you're legal with the Department of Real Estate, EXP is down with it.